All right, let me know when you're ready.
All right. Hang on. Just trying to see if we're live.
Not yet. Now we are live. Start. 5, 4, and that's
Okay, we're good.
we're good.
Sorry. Up, guys.
Roll it, Jason. You hosted.
Da, 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 da.
Of the orange and blue breakdown. Good to be back with my fellow co-host, where we will always bring to you all the things of the world in the orange and blue, which is our beloved New York Metropolitans.
Let's go, Mets.
This fantastic opening eve day episode of this podcast, I'm here to tell you that I am. That's fan since '86, Jason Ortiz, and I am here with my best friends in the entire pretend universe. My co-host for today, I'm gonna let you guys take it away.
I'm Mets Rock, aka Nick Scartamaglia, back for the second season, and I am ready for the 40th anniversary to start, and the Mets are going to go all the way this year somehow.
And I'm Dave, aka Captain Caps. Let's go, Mets.
But before we start this season off, we are going to go into some deep topics and give some insight to the coming 2026 season that is upon. Starting tomorrow afternoon, 12 p.m. pregame, 1 o'clock game time. So let's get down to it.
Time to play that game.
I mean, this has been a long off season. I mean, wouldn't you guys agree? It's been a long season. Let me know what your thoughts are on this entire off season. Who wants to break that chain first?
Dave, I'll let you go first.
All right. Well, I'm somewhat optimistic that the rotation has been upgraded. There's some depth there. Hitting wise, a little skeptical, but we're more of a contact hitting team rather than power hitting. So let's hope to change this for the better, but wait and see. That's my approach right now.
So my approach is, we got rid of some of the best players. And I grew up around Beltran, Delgado, Wright. I grew up against watching some of the best guys that ever wore the orange and blue. But I gotta tell you, I'm excited for Carson Bench. One full season in the farm system, and he's in the major leagues. I agree. We upgraded that rotation. Freddie Peralta, great pickup by the Mets. Could we have added a few more pieces? Yes. Do I still hate the idea that we lost our franchise power hitter in Pete Alonso? Yes, I hate that. Do I think Polanco's an upgrade? No. Polanco's a downgrade. Do I like that we picked up Bo Bichette? Absolutely. He's a great hitter, great fielder. We got a great lineup with Bichette, Soto. Just want to point this out. Francisco Lindor is healthy. And I won the bet with my coworker at work. He said there was no chance that Lindor was going to be ready for opening day. He was ready a week early. Damn it.
Nice.
But I'm excited for this season. I think we're going to shock a few teams. I think we're good enough to at least make it to the postseason. But, I hate to say it. I don't see us getting past LA. I respect the Dodgers. I don't respect Aaron Judge. Not even, especially after the World Baseball Classic. Never did I think in my life would I root for Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber. And yet I was rooting for both of them in the World Baseball Classic, and they failed.
Well,
Judge failed.
Harper, he actually
Harper,
did
the only guy that actually got a home run in that finals.
Yeah.
And if I recall correctly, the guy that gave up the 2-run homer early in the game is our third starter.
Wow, talk
Nolan
about never
McLean?
have I ever. Whew. Yes,
Oh boy!
never have I ever.
Now, do I
Never
think
have I
our
ever.
both? I like the pickup of Luke Weaver. Devin Williams, I still think he's a little shaken up after what Alonso did to him in Milwaukee in 2024 in a certain wild card game. The bye-bye. You're going home, Devin.
I heard he expanded his repertoire. Hopefully
Yeah.
that'll account for something.
Yeah. Soto, I'm excited about. I think he's going to have another fantastic year. Lindor's healthy. Bichette's healthy. We got a rookie in our starting lineup. Like, Mendoza didn't even tell Carson Bench, hey, you're going to make the roster. You're going to be on the bench. You're starting opening day. He already told him 3 days before opening day, hey, you're going to start on opening day for us in right field. That's how much he proved himself. So if he has a good year and everybody else has a good year, I say the sky's the limits. Now, after that whole spiel, Jason, what do you think?
Well, I'll tell you what. As always, you all have some interesting insights and some interesting information, as always, to provide. That's what I appreciate my fellow Mets fans, because they know baseball. Cannot fake a Mets fan to actually give fake information. That's exactly what you guys did not do. So, with that being said, rookie Carson Bench has won the right fielder job after tearing it up in spring training. Fantastic job by him. But I want to know, what do you guys think about Sean Manaea getting bumped to the bullpen amid questions about his velocity? Heading into this season, the Mets will have a 5-man rotation, possibly 6. The Peralta, Peterson, McLean, Holmes, and Senga. I will give you both the floor happily to provide some insight.
So should I start this time?
Yep, you go first.
All right. So, the way that I look at it is you need that 6-man out of the rotation, not if, say, like if you have 7 straight days of a baseball game, of games. But like, God forbid, say somebody gets injured. It's not a demotion put in the bullpen. I always think of it as, hey, we're going to put you in the bullpen, but it's not because you're not good enough to start in our rotation. Because Manaea is one of the best starters we've had in the last few years. But it's because our rotation depth is so good that you're just the odd man out. And if, say, down the road, say if we got a guy that maybe tweaks something, pitching, and we need somebody to come and give us 3 or 4 innings, you're available. And you pitched in relief before. You pitched in the postseason before in relief. I mean, you could have said the same thing for David Peterson, could have went to the bullpen. I just think that, it was the best man. McLean's the best man to become being in our rotation after the Rocky World Baseball Classic that he had. But it's a prove yourself kind of league. If you don't prove yourself, they're going to fix it. I mean, who remembers 2 years ago, Sean Manaea was with the throwing and then readjusted his approach to the plate and started throwing kind of like what Chris Sale does. And he became one of the better pitchers on the team.
Yeah.
Truth.
Definitely did.
So the way I look at it is, it's not a demotion. It's to better yourself. Instead of sending you to AAA in Syracuse, we're giving you the opportunity to better yourself.
I like that statement.
The way I see it, well, the diminished velocity, that's a cause for concern, but if Mendoza was saying he's not all that concerned about it, then I guess I won't be, but that said, I mean, he's going to be in the bullpen, and I say make him a long reliever. That way he'll still be well conditioned for when he gets put back in the rotation, and go from there.
I got a question. Where's Clay Holmes?
Well,
He's your number 5 starter. Is he number 5, right? No, number 4.
yeah.
He's over Senga.
Oh, okay. He made the rotation. I was
Yeah.
like, wait a minute. I briefly looked down like, did we let him go? Because I'm running through the starters in my head. I was like, where did he go?
Well, he was in the World Baseball Classic.
So was everybody, and we still lost to Venezuela. But since Jason has stepped away, I will say this one time, and I will only say it once. I am so glad that we don't have Ryan Stanek in our bullpen.
Came back just in the nick of time. Boy, I heard that.
The timing. Impeccable.
You dare. I mean, we friends, but Nick, you joined the line with my boy Stan. Plan on follow this man wherever he goes. Now he's in St. Louis.
Oh, good. He'll go screw up an already screwed up team.
Let's go, Stanek.
Hey, listen,
man,
he
Ryan
didn't do
Stanek.
much for us. We didn't even make the playoffs last year, and he was in our bullpen.
This guy. That's gonna hurt my feelings. All right, I guess we'll move on from Mr. Stanek. So, in the midst of all this, going with a 5-man rotation, there'll be several off days in the early season. This will help the Mets go to a 6-man because, as we all know, in April, those days off definitely help. They get a little brutal at times with the weather, but sometimes, April showers, so that'll definitely help expand the rotation. Jonathan will begin the season in AAA as expected to help him get better. Had a brief stint, the couple of cups of coffee, in the majors. You can see flashes that he needs to grow, but you can also see flashes that he did, light up the strike zone. But he's got to work on his pitching effectiveness. He definitely showed his age in terms of pitching at times, pitching under pressure. When you've got 41,000 fans staring at your every move, the pressure can't get to you. So hopefully he can work it out in spring training, and bring it into the postseason. If we make it, it could be a definite utilization. but more importantly, getting through the roller coaster of a season. And I'm sure at some point he will be called up, help this
Oh
ball
yeah, absolutely.
club.
Absolutely, I agree with you that him being down in the minors right now is the best option. I do think eventually we're going to see him up here because, and we had Christian Scott who's come back from injury also, so he'll be up here again at some point. He's continuing to rehab from Tommy John surgery, and that's going to take a while. But and on a side note for opening day, real quick, I looked at prices for tomorrow.
Oh.
$95 for the 500 section.
They're wilding out.
Behind home plate.
Oh my.
I mean, if I didn't have to work tomorrow night at 5 o'clock, I'd be going to the game. Wouldn't you spend that money for that kind of price for opening day?
Dave, would you? I wouldn't do it.
No.
Nope. I will be more than happy to stream it for our Discord group and keep it moving. People that work Friday, I don't really feel like traveling on my day off.
I got work tomorrow night, so I'll be watching I'll catch probably the entirety of that game because I go in at 5.
Safe travels at work tomorrow. If you got work, oh, that's right. Dave works from home tomorrow.
Yep. Working from home.
I was going to say, Dave, shouldn't they declare a national holiday tomorrow? That's opening day.
Let's try to get that doctor's note, everybody. Where's that doctor's note that usually everybody posts on social media? Saying please excuse, because tomorrow's opening day.
Well, hey, listen,
find it.
listen, we win the World Series. I'm giving a doctor's note and saying, sorry, I gotta go to this World Series parade.
Oh, I am definitely taking my PTO for that.
I will take a whole friggin' week off if we win the World Series. Because I'm going to need a week off.
If we win.
I take all my vacation time. I might take all my vacation time. To Mr. World is moving around. We've got some bullpen news to talk about with the acquisitions of Luke Weaver and our newest closer, Devin Williams. Weaver being the top setup man for Mr. Williams. Sometimes it could be reversed. Tobias Myers and Huascar Brodsvan will provide some long relief as well. And of course, veterans Brooks Raley and Luis Garcia, which is a high velocity sinker baller, will definitely be good for up the middleman, with the final spot going to Richard Lovelady. Cue the jokes. Plus, AJ Minter is looking to return from an injury soon, which would definitely help the bullpen depth. Your thoughts, gentlemen, on the revamped bullpen entering this season?
You know what? I got a few thoughts, and I would like to go first. First off, I want to say I don't think Devin Williams is going to be in that closer spot for long. In all honesty, I think he's still a little worked up over the fact that he lost to Pete Alonso. Because you saw it all last year, which led to Luke Weaver being the closer of the Yankees again. I think Luke Weaver should be our closer. I like his stuff. I think he's a very good pitcher. He's proven himself on the biggest stage. And you know what? I like Huascar Barazabam. I like him. I like Brooks Raley. I really don't have much to say bad about this bullpen with Ryan Stanek on, and unfortunately with us losing Edwin Diaz. But, Devin Williams, he's probably going to end up being a setup guy at some point this year. But if I was Devin, it's a stacked bullpen. I wouldn't take it as a downgrade. Because the worst thing that could happen is you being cut and released. If you get demoted from closer to setup man, it's the same thing with us moving Manaea to the bullpen. Maybe you're a little too stressed out being the closer and not ready for that big moments again. Maybe we just move Weaver into that spot, who was the setup man, became the closer of the New York Yankees, and I'm pretty sure he won the American League pennant with them. And he was their closer. And believe me, I do not like talking good things about the Yankees, but it was a good move having Luke Weaver as their closer. Luke Weaver will be our closer at some point this year. Devin Williams, I respect the hell out of you. I respect what you're about. I won't say that I feel bad for you that Alonso took a 3-1 pitch from you and drove it into the right field stands in the wild card game. But listen, it happens. You'll see Alonso in September. And the best part is, you get to play the Yankees twice. And by the way, those tickets are even cheaper than I would have thought for the Subway Series at Yankee Stadium.
Those games.
Well, my 2 cents.
But
Devin Williams being the closer. Well, I do know that he's trying to reestablish a cutter into his repertoire as well as his slider, so maybe him expanding his repertoire will help him become more effective, hopefully. Luke Weaver, he's an established reliever, so having him in the back of the bullpen, that's a plus. And then Tobias Myers, he's been proven as
I forgot about him.
eating up innings, so I like that about him. Oscar Brazaban, he can be wild at times and volatile, so hopefully, more often than not, he's consistently good. Brooks Raley, not much needs to be said about him. He's always reliable. Luis Garcia, well, he was pretty good last year after leaving LA, so he's got that.
The Angels or the Dodgers?
I thought it was the Dodgers, but hold on.
Sorry, I've never even heard of this guy before he signed with the Mets.
Yeah.
Jason, while David looks that up, do you have any opinions about the trades that the Mets made this offseason, getting rid of Nimmo, McNeil, and picking up
Let me
Luis
hear your thoughts
Robert
first on
from...
it.
What?
Let me get your thoughts. Let me get your thoughts first, sir. And then I'll piggyback.
Oh,
All right, well, here's my thought. We didn't win with them. First, that maybe they were the bad seeds in our team that kept us from winning. I mean, Nimmo, fabulous hitter, fabulous fielder. McNeil had some problems with Lindor. I don't understand why we traded Luis Angel Acuna for Robert, who's injured half the time. And Simeon, I just don't. He's old. That's all I gotta say. He's old. He's older than me, so I can say he's old. But he's older in age. I hope his fielding doesn't become a problem. I'm glad that we kept Vientos up here and Brett Beatty. I thought I'd say glad that Brett Beatty's in the major league and in the same sentence, but that's where we're at this point. Polanco playing first base. I don't know how long that's gonna last. Because as we all know, if you're not hitting or doing good with the Mets, you're gonna get booed quickly. This is a tough team to play for. And then there were two.
Oh,
Man,
by
I
the
didn't even talk bad about Ryan Stanek.
way. By the way, Luis Garcia, he played for the Dodgers, Nationals, and the Angels last year.
Oh, Jason says something has come up. He has to leave the chat.
All right, that's down to us.
All right, so I'll take over hosting till he comes back.
Sounds good.
Okay. Now I gotta get this chat up. Hang on. Where were we? Oh, outfield shaping. Great. Hey, you know what? That actually works pretty good. Because we started talking about the trades and all that and got down. Okay, so outfield shaping, we got Juan Soto playing left. I don't know how well that's going to work. Luis Robert and Sonny.
Well, with Juan Soto, when he was with the Nationals, he played left field. So.
Oh, he was a left fielder?
Yeah.
I always saw him as a center fielder. Or a right fielder. Okay, that works. And by the way, did you see that video of Carlos Mendoza bringing Carson Bench into the office?
I heard about it. I never got the chance to check it out.
Oh, I was ready to cry with them. And you know what? Since we have a little time to kill, I'm going to actually talk about it. So the video starts with Carson Bench and Mendoza going into the office, and Carlos says, "You were drafted in 2024, right?" He said, "Yeah." He says, "Do you remember that day that you came to Citi Field and you took batting practice? Do you remember what you were thinking?" And Carson Bench said, "Yeah, holy shit, I want to be here one day." And Mendoza said, "Well, you're going to be there Thursday playing right field for the New York Mets." I almost started crying just hearing that.
Oh my.
I'm so happy for him. He pretty quick turnaround. Just think, he was 2 years and he's in the majors.
And he looked awesome in spring training.
I don't know if Tauchman had the job even if he didn't have to have the surgery.
Right. Tauchman tore his
I think Bench probably had it regardless. Yeah. Brett Beatty is a utility player who can play both infield and outfield positions, making Brad a death. I don't see Beatty as an outfielder, though.
Probably use him at more of a last resort kind of thing. I mean, rather have Tyrone Taylor out there being the fourth outfielder. Anything beyond
it used to be Jeff McNeil.
Yeah.
Well, who we really could trust. But now he's in Sacramento.
It's still weird calling the A's being in Sacramento. In a minor league park, no less. Well, let's hope,
last year Tampa Bay was at the Yankees minor league stadium, so.
And let's hope that Beatty continues to improve hitting like he did last year. So hopefully that'll result in an upgrade over McNeil.
Okay, so now look at our infield depth, because we have to. At first base, Pete Alonso. Nah, just kidding. He traded us. He betrayed us. He went to the enemies.
Baltimore.
I think Boston Red Sox fans and Yankee fans are very upset right now. Because instead of seeing Pete Alonso once or twice a year, now they got to see him for at least 4 series.
Hey.
At second base, Marcus Semien. Can't believe we traded Nimmo for him. It feels weird not seeing Alonso, McNeil at first and second.
Right.
Francisco Lindor, the only Mets staying in our infield from last year in our opening day lineup. At shortstop. And ready to go for opening day. I should have put some money on it. And Bo Bichette playing third base. Who would have thought? The guy that helped the Blue Jays to their first World Series appearance since 1993 would be with the Mets a year later. And on our bench will be Mark Vientos, who's probably going to be our DH tomorrow against Paul Skeens. Brett Beatty and Jared Young. Catchers will be Francisco Alvarez and also on the bench, Luis Torrens.
Well, I know there were questions about Bo Bichette moving to third base, but I mean,
from what I've seen, he's not done too bad.
Yeah, I mean, there's been numerous guys who've converted over to third base from shortstop. I mean, Howard Johnson,
Cal Ripken,
yes, A-Rod,
A-Rod. And look at that. I mean, the only person that really didn't have a fun time moving from short to third was Cal Ripken.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I was watching baseball seasons 2001 a few years back. And I thought it was cool that at the All-Star game, A-Rod was the starting shortstop and Cal Ripken was the starting third baseman. And A-Rod switched for the inning.
Wow. That was
and played third base and let Cal Ripken start his final All-Star game at shortstop.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And the funny part was everybody was in on it except Cal Ripken. He didn't know about it.
Memories.
Yeah. So for this opening weekend, we got new Met, Freddie Peralta, towing the mound against Paul Skeens. Now, when I saw Pirates opening day, before we got Freddie Peralta, I'm like, we're going to face Paul Skeens on opening day. I was like, I don't know. I don't know if we're going to be able to beat him. Now I think it's going to be a good game tomorrow. We might have a pitcher's duel tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm seeing Peralta matching zeros with Paul Skeens. And keep in mind, Paul Skeens has that Jacob deGrom syndrome where he's run support deficient.
That is true. We might only need 1 run to win that game.
Like, how do you have an ERA under 2 and be a 500 pitcher? Doesn't make sense.
It does if you're on the Pirates.
Yeah.
I mean, when was the last time they won a World Series? The 70s?
1979. I wasn't even born.
You see the funny things, right?
And I mean, they had their chances with when Bonds
was there.
But they couldn't even get out of the LCS.
Oh, it was the Braves that were running that area, right?
Yeah, and then after Bonds left, the Pirates sucked for like 20 years.
Hey, listen, Bonds didn't do much when he left the Pirates anyway.
Well, the Giants were a better team, I suppose, but yeah.
I mean, they made what, one World Series?
Yeah. I mean, they made playoffs. That's more than what the Pirates could have said in that time span.
Yeah. In game 2, we will have Mitch Keller versus David Peterson. And then in game 3, we will have Milo Dzinski. Okay, versus Nolan McLean. I never even heard of Ladzinski. Have you ever heard of this guy?
Nada.
Apparently, he's pitched for the Pirates for the last 3 seasons. How funny is this? We have a 3-game homestand against the Pirates. Then we travel to St. Louis. Then we travel to San Francisco. And then we travel back home to play the Diamondbacks, the Athletics. And then we go back to LA to play the Dodgers.
Yeah, that's some weirdo traveling there.
Like, what's the point? You're literally going around your ass to get to your elbow.
Yeah. Well, speaking
You
of
have to
that,
travel. Wait. You have to travel from California after you play the Giants to go to New York for a 6-game homestand to go back to LA.
who wrote the schedule?
I don't know. And then, oh, wait. It gets better. Then we gotta go to Chicago. Play the Cubs.
Beats
At
them.
least when we get into May, it makes sense. We're home for the rest of the month after Chicago. Then we go to LA, Colorado, and Arizona.
A messed up schedule.
At least that makes sense. At least we stay in the West Coast for a week.
Rather than running around.
To get around our ass to get to our elbow.
Yeah.
That's the nicest way to put it.
Yeah. Well, hope for the best, and well, we do have some off days here and there, and early
In between,
season.
at least.
Hopefully.
We play our top contenders for the wild card in the division and possibly playoffs on the same week. We play the Dodgers and the Cubs in the same week.
Go all the way to the West Coast, from the East Coast, and then go to the Midwest, and then back home.
No, we go from the East Coast to the West Coast, back to the East Coast, to go back to the West Coast, to go to Midwest, to go back to the East Coast.
Hey.
All right, do you have any other comments?
Not much other than go opening day, and let's go Mets.
Go kick some ass tomorrow, Mets. Do we have any comments in our stream?
Much other than
Or do I have to look at that?
opening day, and Let's go Mets.
Go Kicks.
No, nothing that I see.
All right, well, that's gonna do it for the opening day edition of the Orange and Blue Breakdown. I mean, Jason left midstream. Hope you all enjoyed this historic episode of our second season of covering all the things in the world of the New York Mets. Again, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. For
Dave, aka Captain Caps.
And we'll just say for Mets fans since 1986, Jason Ortiz, even though he had to leave us and he was missed, I'm your host now, Mets Rock, aka Nick Scartamaglia. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you later on in April for the second episode. And until then, let's
Go.
go.